Well, hey, my balancing beings. It's your Soul Oracle Robyn, and I'm back to you with another divinely channeled message. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. 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 Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. I don't think I've ever struggled through that song, but somebody may be experiencing some throat chakra blockages at this time. And it's so funny, balancing beings, that right now there is an energy, a strong energy of there being wandering energy, or I'm going to say clumsy, but some of you may be able to identify the feeling of clumsiness with being a klutz. This morning there was a lot of that energy from the time that I woke up, and that doesn't often happen. I mean, from fumbling things out of your hands to, making a mistake where you usually wouldn't during your regular routine, or just flubbing over your words, flubbing over what it is that you would normally do, especially your speech, and particular things that you would handle in your hands. But the throat chakra, I guess that this message may actually relate to someone who watched our last message regarding BAFTA and freedom. It was a very, very strong message. And if you have not looked at it yet, please go onto my channel and watch that. It may actually be significant and related to this message. I am so grateful to see you. And being new to YouTube, I have a busy life already. So I'm trying my hardest to commit to bringing consistent content. But for those of you who are doing the same as me, please remember that here at Wu Wei Soul Guidance, we appreciate you, but we also are promoting how we show up in the world. And I am your Soul Oracle Robyn, reflecting to you the need for balance, and that's why we stay in the flow. But also, I am reflecting to you what your authority is in this world. So I plan to do some sort of introductory meeting with you guys, an introductory video, so you can understand what brought me to creating this channel, why we are Wu Wei Soul Guidance. Wu Wei is a very, very big and vital piece to this channel. And if you hear my dogs in the background, please be mindful that they'll always be here. So I appreciate your patience as they're playing and barking in their dwelling. But just to get back to, the purpose of the introductory video, a lot of people don't know the reason why I know how to read tarot and why I am able to bring forth these divinely channeled messages. The divinely channeled messages are definitely unrelated to tarot, although I can read it. But I am a seer, a divine messenger, a soul oracle at this point, as well as a psychic medium. So today's message really can be significant for someone, because in the energy there is a strong presence of an ancestor, a male ancestor. I don't believe that this person is alive. What I have been channeling all day today is relevant to what this ancestor has to tell someone in the collective of divine beings, as well as balancing beings. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. If you are returning, I welcome you back. As always, I ask that everybody start the conversation, start the engagement, so we can understand where you are in your journey of staying in the flow, and give yourself some grace. I've had to give myself a whole lot of grace coming here. I just started this channel in August 2025, and as it relates to being able to come onto the channel and be effective, a lot of these channel messages are pulling me more in the direction of bringing those forth versus tarot. And I just love tarot, but at the same time, the gift that has been mantled to me, that has been, placed at the forefront for me, is bringing forth these divinely channeled messages. And I'm not going to say unfortunately, but it could be that, there has been a challenge with me being able to bring forth these videos as consistently to you all, because life is happening. And so I appreciate your patience. If you start to engage with the messages, start to engage with my content, I'm able to grow the channel and reach as many people as I can in order for the messages to flow. If you've not been watching my shorts, I have way more of those shorts where I'm quickly channeling messages, and I'm bringing forth those in brevity to you, very, very brief messages, but there are signals in those messages that could not only help someone, they could forewarn people, and you could actually find some confirmations in those, because I am channeling for the collective of those who are watching, and I am manifesting that those messages reach who they are supposed to reach. And so it is, Ashe. Again, somebody has been sending you some sort of energy from the spirit realm, and it's an ancestor. And some of you may have had that same feeling, where today seemed more so like you were fumbling or flubbing, and maybe unable to speak because you've been feeling like a klutz. In the last 2 days, when we dropped a message about BAFTA and freedom, what came up in our daily meditation from the Daily Stoic was in regards to how it is that you show up when someone does you wrong. And it's quite funny, because a lot of times I'm writing down my channel messages, and then I go to my Stoic meditation, and such as it was a line the other day, Balance and Beings, my channeling has been confirmed through that Daily Stoic, even on today. I've been channeling a visualization that I had about monks in Asia on the opening of a cave, connecting with divine spirit through nature with clean air and a view of trees, waterfalls, and blossoms. Then the vision, it spun into that of an environment that is cold, and what I could hear from divine spirit was that this cold area may have been Siberia. What I was picking up on is, first of all, that both of these visualizations that I was getting is that of an antiquated time or an ancient time. So in the Siberian environment, where the monks also were, there was a fire that had been created on the opening of a cave while it was snowing, and it was super cold. And if you know anything about Siberia, it is one of the most cold places, to the point where if you were to step outside without sheltering even your phone, it could freeze on you. That may be significant to someone. Someone may be traveling to either one of those areas, Southeast Asia. With it being spring, it was very, very beautiful to see the image of those monks in Asia at the opening of a cave, where you could actually see nature. But it was just as beautiful to see these monks covered in layers, still connecting with the Most High, regardless of the conditions of the weather. Some of you may be that far involved and that fully involved, like a sandwich, when it comes to your connection with the Most High. This could be that you're still a babe in your spirituality, but it could also be that you're very, very strong in your foundation, in your faith, as well as your spirituality and your walk. Something else that came up, and it could be significant for someone. Remember, guys, these are general messages, so take the message as it resonates. I kept hearing the sound during meditation, primordial. And primordial sounds itself may be significant. So primordial is really about the most natural things around you. What I channeled was our connection with the Most High, Creator and the Most High God, even before creation, has been since the beginning of time. So be open to learning and keeping natural ways to stay connected over man-made worship practices. This was consistent with what I saw as it relates to the monks. If you know anything about the monk experience, especially that of people who are from Southeast Asia, particularly, I'm familiar with the Thai culture. But Thai monks, they actually go into prayer and fasting, as well as meditation, for a period throughout the year of a quarter of the year. So anywhere between like 3 to 4 months, without any food, without any water, just sustenance that comes from their time spent with God. And when they come out of this, they're able to still sustain. But the culture is that these monks go into the Buddhist temple. And the Buddhist temple, as well as this congregation of people, I'm not sure if they call it congregation of people, but this group of people who belongs to the temple, and they practice Buddhism, they support the monks going into this period of fasting, praying, and just being with God in nature. And they call that the monk inn. The monk inn consists of these monks also being in prayer in the temple with this group of people, but also balancing beings. Those monks are able to eat in order to have a level of sustenance that would provide them strength while they're doing the monk inn. After the monk inn has been completed, they're off to the races, so to speak, because they've got about 3 months to be with God only. And to be with God is to be with creation, is to be with oneself. It is to be in balance. I don't know why I just started to tear up, but to continue with the message, our connection with the Most High God, even before creation, has been since the beginning of time. And when I say before creation, that means before our creation, before any sort of creation, because there's been a divine plan. So be open to learning and keeping natural ways to stay connected over that of staying connected by way of man-made worship practices. It is as simple as listening to the sound of nature, taking breaths, and taking in creation. So being able to embrace creation, being in nature and being able to breathe it, to use all of your senses to taste it, to see it, to feel it, to allow it to overtake you. This is a massive gift. I mentioned at the beginning of this message, Balancing Beings, that there is an ancestor that is trying to get into contact with you to say these particular words. In my vision, I saw the top of a rice well. And if you know what a rice well is, they're known to have been extinct and have now started to resurface. Rice wells are not a common animal for you to see anymore because of the destruction on this earth. But in this vision, I ended up seeing the top of a rice well with grids over it in a deep blue ocean. This ocean was so blue that it seemed like this earth had been cleansed again. It looked like a blue that we've probably never seen a day in our life since the beginning of time. This water was so clear and blue that there was hardly any contrast between the color it was and the color of this blue well. But I knew, in fact, this rice well was there because of the grids that lay over it, and of course because of the physical makeup. A rice well has this distinct look that it almost looks matte in color, and it has this bumpy top with a flat snout. And you guys don't know this about me, but I'm kind of a nerd, and I'm a little geeky, and I love to study marine life, especially mammals, shellfish, the different types of sponges, as well as watch videos about the depths of the ocean. And I could get into more of that later because I do have a phobia as it relates to certain things in the water. But I sometimes study the migration of marine life as well as those animals on land. So the rice well I'm very, very familiar with, and it has resurfaced. It has been sighted where at one point it was endangered and had been considered extinct. So getting this vision is making me very, very emotional. But anyway, I saw the top of a rice well with grids over it in a deep blue ocean, then started to spiral into what seemed like a never-ending belly of pink space, which looked like a field of pink flowers once I arrived to where I was supposed to. It was sort of a portal. It was like a tube. So I guess that could be considered a portal. When I got there with those pink flowers, children were present. Children were present, feeding a baby goat. And then I could see an ancestor, a great-grandfather of sorts, a melanated man who had a pastor robe on, but was teaching a class at a chalkboard with curly black hair and rounded glasses, as if he was in anywhere between the 1600s and the 1800s. Sorry, you guys. My camera is doing something. So when I saw this ancestor in his glasses, Balancing Beings, he turned around to confirm who he was in the spirit. he took a moment to turn around to his class and to share with you in particular, whoever is watching this message and whoever it's for. He shared that he was still teaching you from the spirit realm. He took an antiquated style book bag, which looks like a book satchel with a simple leather strap, and he grabbed up one of the children's leather strap book bags or book satchel and wrapped those books and vital materials for them to take with them. He started to say, even in 2026, his teachings are still amplifying around you, and you will find peace and relief in simplicity. As I was going into another part of my vision, balancing beings, I started to hear the name Cynthia. So someone watching this that is connected to this energy may be Cynthia. Sometimes when you hear in the spirit, there are some names that you have to, or words that you have to make out. So Cynthia could have been related to Ascensia and maybe Ascension. Ascensia is something that I've never heard, but it could have been something that was related as a form of ascension at some point in time. And I also heard a seed in her, which would have been broken English for a seed in her. Maybe there's something or someone. Maybe there is something or someone that is learning. Maybe there is someone that is learning something, but instead of a planting of a seed, this ancestor has placed it in you. As the children were leaving the school, I started to just resonate on where we were just a moment ago. Maybe there is something someone is learning, but instead of planting a seed, this ancestor is placing it in you, balancing beings. Maybe something to do here while you're here on this life plane. And as the children left the schoolhouse, I saw a butterfly flying away down a path. And butterflies could not only be significant to transformation, as you know, but they're also very, very much so related to ancestral energy and you being an ancestral presence. I've got a flood of tears in my eyes, and I just know that whoever it is that I'm talking to and whoever I'm connected with on the spirit side and in the spirit realm, they have connected with me for great purpose. There are so many times that we talk about planting seeds, but you know, just as we are able to connect with the divine without any external forces, our religion is in us. God is within us. Our internal compass is within us. I heard a young lady the other day talking about our chakras actually being the planets. There's so much interconnectedness and so much ability to go inward for the elevation of consciousness, the elevation of our own emotional intelligence, elevation of our own depth. Someone needs to hear this message. And we often talk about planting seeds outside of us. But what about planting seeds inside of us in order for us to get everything that comes from the planting of that seed as it blooms, as it blossoms, as the manifestation comes to fruition? When we manifest, sometimes by the time the Most High gives us the fulfillment of those wishes and what we've commanded into the universe, we're at a point in our lives and in our season of harvest that we're unable to accept what has been given to us. So I'm starting to wonder if it's even necessary for us to plant seeds outside of ourselves, but to start to focus that sort of energy, start to target what's going on internally, start to reverb our whole affirmation process, our whole manifestation process. Should we just turn inward? Should we just turn inward? Is the soil within us? We had just gotten so serious into that message, and I'm asking, is the soil within us? And then the whole camera goes hot. My goodness, we ain't been on that long, y'all. That's crazy. But anyways, this whole thing just got me to a point where I'm questioning if everything needs to happen within us as it relates to our manifestations, as it relates to our desires, our wishes. Because I know sometimes I'm looking at things that I asked for 3 to 5 years ago, and by the time I receive them, I'm like, Most High God, I'm ready for something else. Is this even what I want anymore? And I want you to be mindful of where the seed is planted, but also know that your spirit guides, your ancestors, your angels are always with you if you allow the connection to take place. There's so much reciprocity that you're going to have to in turn give. And that's what's going to involve you going within too, because your ancestors never left, but they are waiting for you to talk to them. They are waiting for you to speak to them. They are waiting for you to communicate with them. They are waiting for you to summon what it is that you need from them. And they're awaiting you using your authority while they're with you. They're waiting on you to recognize how much internal power you have through your interconnectedness to not only them, but our Creator, the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. My camera is running hot right now, but I wanted someone to receive that message, and I wanted to follow up with a message that is probably a piggyback to our BAFTA and freedom conversation that we had as it relates to being able to speak up, and something for you to reflect on in our last message as it relates to the events at BAFTA and what we discovered as it relates to freedom, balance, and beings. Living without restriction. The unrestricted person who has in hand what they will in all events is free. But anyone who can be restricted, coerced, or pushed into something against what they will is a slave. Take a look at some of the most powerful, rich, and famous people in the world. Ignore the trappings of their success and what they're able to buy. Look instead at what they're forced to trade in return. Look at what success cost them. Mostly freedom. Their work demands they wear a suit. Their success depends on attending certain parties. Their success depends on them attending certain parties, kissing up to people they don't like. It will require inevitably realizing they are unable to say what they actually think. Worse, it demands that they become a different type of person and to relinquish external forces' power when it comes to what we decide to do, how we nurture our experience and connection with our Creator, our divine ancestors, our divine spirit guides, how we develop in our spirituality, how we develop our faith, and how we choose to walk, whether that be related to work, showing up in a place where energy is not serving you or it is harmful to you. I think that's all my camera's got right now. And I don't understand it because it's a damn good one. But I love you no matter what you do, balancing beings. And always remember, it's important to me that you know you are free. 'Cause I never want to make you change. For me, babe, don't change, don't change. Squirrel for me, babe, don't change, don't change. Squirrel for me, babe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.